Hey, yeah, YouTube, what's going on? Today we're talking about the PlayStation Slim again, which I did talk about a couple of days ago. There's been a couple more revelations since then with news. Most of it is still rumor and speculation on the whole big picture, but in terms of the PlayStation 4 Slim, it's been all but confirmed. In the reports before, we saw some pictures, but then a video was posted online with it actually being turned on. We did only see the normal menu screen, the normal sort of blue screen with all the icons and everything. So that was the same, but we do have what was reported to be the Slim turned on and everything. I haven't seen any gameplay, but we did get a look at the new controller, which is slightly different. It's like a normal DualShock, but the light bar at the back's sort of more towards the top, so you can actually see the color. So in some games, there's color prompts or something's happening. So instead of having to sort of flip your controller, you can see more clearly what's happening there now. Apart from that, there's no big redesigns. On the back of the PlayStation 4 Slim, there's no optical port, so if you use sound system sort of stuff, big speakers, other things, you might have a problem there. But otherwise, it's all the same. Again, it's just this sort of square. It's a bit smaller than the normal PlayStation, and has physical buttons for eject and turning it on. So it looks like that's going to be announced on September 7th on the PlayStation event. It's very interesting. Sort of before they were talking about the Neo being released, so what this means for that, not quite sure. Sony still hasn't commented on anything. I'll try and find the video that was posted. One of them have been taken down because apparently they got legal advice, and they're like, yeah, probably shouldn't have this, which is fair, because if I was the head of Sony, I'd probably be like, hey, what are you doing? Because someone at Sony has to, Andrew House or something, head of PlayStation, has to go on stage in 2 weeks and be like, so here's the Slim! Oh, know about that. Oops. But it looks like the box, it doesn't say PlayStation 4 Slim, it just says PS4. So it looks like what's going to happen is this new PlayStation is going to come out, it's going to be a bit smaller. So far it's only a 500 gig model, so the same, not a terabyte, 2 or whatever. So it looks like this is going to replace the normal PlayStation. And then there'll be the Neo, which I didn't really think about, and it was actually quite smart, because I was looking at it from a sort of, we have 3 PlayStations of here's the normal PS4, and the Slim, and then the Neo, and then there's also going to be VR, so there's like 3 consoles, 1 new thing, and it's like, whereas Xbox, they've gone, at the moment we have this Xbox, we have the Xbox One, but then we have this Xbox One S, and it's like, we still are supporting both, but this one's sort of better if you have a 4K TV, la la la, and then the Scorpio next year, wait for that, because that's going to be really good. But with PlayStation, it looks like what they're doing is they're phasing out the normal PS4, which I don't know how I feel about that. I quite like the PS4, I think it's fine. The new PS4, if it, we don't have specs yet, I assume it'll run a little bit better, I'm not sure, but that's probably what the Neo is going to do, so it looks like it's sort of just a bit of redesign, everything, so that will replace that PS4, so we have a new PS4, so that will just be what we know as PS4, I'll say PS4 1. So that's PlayStation, that's PS4, they'll be sold, looks like maybe a bit cheaper, because it's a bit better to manufacture, the costs are down, that kind of thing, it'll be bundles, whatever. So that's actually quite a smart business move, that's good, you sort of get a bit better, cool, get rid of the old one, there you go. So that's sort of like what happened with the Xbox 360 last console generation, where they sort of had their normal Xbox, and then they had it was Arcade, Pro, and Elite, and it was like different hard drives and colors and different things, and then eventually that got replaced by the Slim, but they sort of did more of that, not sort of segregating in the sand this, they kind of just replaced their consoles, and they got better, and by the end of the 360 generation, the 360 that they had is actually quite good. It didn't have overheating problems or red rings or anything. They were quite good, unlike the first arcade 360s that were just kind of a mess, and that's why I switched to PlayStation. So we're going to have this new PS4, that will be PS4 1, and then we're going to have the Neo. Still don't really know what the Neo is. It looks like the Neo is going to be the equivalent to the Xbox One S. So it will be a bit quicker, it will be better on 4K TVs, it will play VR better, it will do all these things. We really don't know anything about it, so that will come out. It looks like that's still going to come out maybe Christmas, or maybe bundled VR. It looks like the Slim's ready to go from someone having it in the box and everything, so it looks like it will either be September 7th, they'll be like, it's out now, go get it, this is the new PS4 now, this is moving forward, this is what you have, or it will be bundled with VR. It will come out on the same day, but like, here's your new PS4 in VR if you don't have one already, whatever. It's going to be very interesting, because I'm not going to go buy a PS4, the PS4 Slim or 1 or whatever, because my PS4's fine, it works 100% fine. Neo I'm interested in, depending on how much of a difference it is. For me, it's how it depends with running games and more like exclusive kind of stuff. Like if Last of Us 2 comes out and they're like, this is what it looks like on the PlayStation 4, but this is what it looks like on the Neo, and there's major graphical difference, I'll be like, well, I really like that franchise. I want to play it on the better system. I'm going to have to get it, which is kind of alienating half your audience. And by then, I would have had my PS4 for like 2 years, and then I don't know, but it would make me do it. So that's what I hope. I don't know how much of a difference it is. Moving forward to next year, when Xbox releases Scorpio, PlayStation, if they do release the Neo, let's say Christmas, and it is the equivalent to Xbox One, then next year, what do? I have a feeling they might just they have this new PS4 model, and that will be PS4 1, and then they'll have the Neo, which is the sort of better model, which you can get if you want. And then next year, the next thing they'll work on is probably the PS5. Because I feel like Scorpio is going to be the next Xbox. I have a feeling it's not just going to be another sort of slim thing. It'll be like, no, to play these games, the Halo 6, 7, you need this console. It's going to look like this, and it's going to do all these new things, X thing. Especially with Nintendo and X coming out, and that's going to change everything too. So I have a feeling they'll probably be like, Slim's coming out, here's this, and then probably won't be E3 next year, but sort of probably 2018 it'll be like, cool, PS5. And then at E3 maybe 2 years they might release that, but I don't know, I can't say, but it makes sense if Xbox are releasing a sort of bigger console that is going to be the next jump. Sony are probably trying to get all this out the gate, but I still don't know how I feel about everything. I don't really want a Neo either, because then what if there is the PS5? But again, it depends on the games and the experience it gives me. We're just gonna have to see. Kind of a bit tired of all the rumors and specs and stuff, and Sony not saying anything. They are eventually in 2 weeks, but it's just all of this sort of hearsay of different things. I believe in Sony. I really, really do. They've been really good this console generation. They just came out like, here's the PS4. Here are the games you want, here's this. Like, they were so good at their press conference, they didn't even realize they were making us pay to play multiplayer games. They just slipped that in, no one cared. And the whole sort of how you share your games thing was really, really good, because Xbox, when it first came out, the One, they had, you're going to have to share games like this on these servers, and you always have to be online, and all this kind of stuff. And then PlayStation come out, first thing, this is how you share your games on PlayStation. Oh, hi, Jim. Oh, hey, Barry. You want to borrow this game? Cool, yeah, there you go. That's how you share games on PlayStation. And if I was Phil Spencer, I'd be crying. I'd be like, Phil Spencer here, and I'm sad. It's just, it's a mess. There's so many things. And also, as I was talking about before, Nintendo with the NX, we don't even know what's happening with that console. So we're going to have this future where, like, in a year, we're going to have 2 Slim models and 2 other consoles, and then another new one from Nintendo. So it's like 5. It's like, what do I do? I'm a uni student. I can't afford all this stuff. I'm going to have to sell an organ. It's ridiculous. Then we have the other matter that came up. Kind of funny. We're talking about it. Greg Miller, Colin Moriarty on PS I Love You podcast, talking about a post on NeoGAF. All this is very, they said this, they said that. But there are rumors. The person that originally broke the story about the PS4 Slim and described what it looked like, now being confirmed, wrote a whole bunch of other things to do with PlayStation. One of them was PlayStation working on a new PlayStation Vita. Not necessarily a Vita, but a new handheld. So people were saying, well, if he's right about this, what if he's right about that? So it's all very, very, very loose. Like, don't hold anything. It probably won't happen, but there's a little bit to suggest, which I sort of am half-half about. Like, I didn't mind the Vita. Uncharted Golden Abyss was really good. It played Minecraft really well. I liked the Ratchet and Clank trilogy, playing the original games. Mainly liked that I could play PS1 classics and PSP games, because you can't do that on PS4 yet, which is really strange. So I did enjoy that. If they give me just normal thumbsticks like on a controller, it can play my third-party games, and there's cross-platforming, you know, playing Uncharted or Until Dawn or whatever on the bus, then done. I don't care how expensive it is, I'll buy it, because that's what the Vita should have been, and it really wasn't. They had a couple of really first-party games that sort of had a Killzone, and they supported it for a while, and then it just went down. But if they really mean it, and they have this network of connecting, here's VR, here's Neo, here's the PS4 now, here's the Vita, and it all is one experience, and it all transfers, and that's good. That's going to be really great. I'll buy all of it. I can play here, I can play there, it'll be really great, but that's very hit and miss. But we'll find out September 7th. I'm sure I'll make another video in the meantime of some information coming up, or if Sony do make comment, but it's all a bit of a mess. And I can't wait to see what does happen, and finally have them be like, this X thing, this is here, this is what we're doing, and it'll be very interesting. Very interesting to see what I'm right and wrong about, but I will keep everyone informed. Check out my Facebook page, Oliver Reviews. I'll leave a link down below, and links to other supporting stories I've talked about in this video, and I'll see you next time.